Hello everyone, it's DuckFairy07. Today we are playing Assault Loam Brew again, and this time it's JUND version. Okay, I was talking about this one too in my last video, and I showed you what is the core of this strategy at the moment to play in Modern, in my opinion. I think the core is very good, and you just add cards to that core, and in a very similar and simple way you can add remove that flex cards and add the Bowmasters, Sheoldred, Molten Collapse, and create very functioning and strong JUND variant of this deck. I think many people asked by now, so why not just play JUND, the regular JUND with the ring and the Sheoldred or whatever. I really believe that the Assault Loam version of JUND list is stronger at the moment than good stuff variants. Okay, so that is my opinion at the moment, and I believe that these cards work so well with the One Ring, and I don't think removing Inti, removing Seismic Assault, Life from the Loam makes this deck better. Yeah, so. Yeah, of course, these are all strong cards that see play in various archetypes, and definitely this is a strong core. But I believe these 12 cards really fit the strategy very well, and I think there is just not much cards I would prefer to play instead of these. Okay, so I believe Seismic Assault is very good with the One Ring, and it's very good with Inti, and the whole deck is kind of synergistic and really performs over all my initial expectations. I've been doing insane with various Assault Loam brews, and this list is no different, and I believe that Temur is maybe slightly better overall, but this can be better in certain metagames where people play mid-range decks, specifically decks like Omnat, decks using the One Ring. Having 4 Bowmasters, 4 Sheoldred is obviously very strong against it. So the blue version, Temur version, has Spell Pierce, Fluster Storm on the sideboard, which are very important cards right now to fight Cascade decks. But yeah, so these two decks are very similar, but different enough that they target different type of metagame, let's say. Okay, so that's it. Some very efficient cards on a sideboard too in this version as well. Some very effective, good sideboard cards, and you have answers to almost anything with this sideboard. I really like sideboard in both of these decks. And that's it. So 25 lands, same as in a Temur variant, just color adjusted, and that's all. So let's go check out the matches. Okay, so this league I ended up 4-1. Actually, the only game I lost was my direct misplay. So I believe this league could easily be another 5-0. And I've been doing amazing this at the beginning of the year. I did extremely well with the various brews, especially those with using Seismic Assault. Okay, so on turn 1 I cycled the cave, turn 2 play the Inti. My opponent is I thought at the moment that they're playing Gorios, but it seems like they're not really playing Gorios. I'm not sure what exactly were they playing, but yeah, they had definitely the Gorios shell. Okay, this is so sweet actually. When Grief discards your card, when you have Inti on the field, you exile a card, so basically you don't lose that much. Okay, so I use the Seismic Assault. I have the Seismic Assault plus Inti. This is very powerful stuff when you can do this. Okay, so here I play the Sheoldred. I was not able to play out my bolt I had exiled, and yeah, so Inti plus Sheoldred are and the Seismic Assault on the field are lethal next turn. Opponent doesn't have, I'm not sure whether they're playing like Reanimate or whatever. They don't have it, they concede, that is the game 1. I was even more confused in game 2. So my opponent definitely wasn't playing Goryo's, they're playing something else. So here I played second and I mulliganed to 6, no Leyline for me, but it is a decent hand. Inti, Bowmasters, Wrenn and Six, Sheoldred. Obviously nothing broken, but a fine hand. Okay, so here I had option actually to go to play the Bowmasters on turn 2 and then turn 3 go Inti plus cycle Forgotten Cave, exile the card. I decided to jam Inti first and then go for the Bowmasters. Bowmasters seemed maybe a bit more important in this matchup. I still wasn't sure if they're playing stuff like Griselbrand or Archon or whatever. Okay, so I was able to attack with the Bowmasters, jam the Sheoldred, and basically hoping to hit something like the One Ring or Seismic Assault. Seismic Assault would be cool with the life in hand. And yeah, so when you play a deck with Forgotten Cave, cards like Life from the Loam and Wrenn and Six have so much more utility. So you're able to every turn get that value from the Wrenn and Six. This is like so hard to beat. And yeah, I decide to mill 3 more and go for another Life from the Loam that I had in graveyard. And now hoping to hit a second cave so I can be in so I can start making card advantage with Life from the Loaming each turn. Okay, so I dredge another Loam, and unfortunately dredge also the Seismic Assault, but it is fine. I decide to kill the Pitting Needle that was on the One Ring. No threats at the moment in hand. One Seismic Assault would really do wonders here. So I draw for a turn, get back the cave, then decide to mill again, get back the Life from the Loam. Use, of course, Loam again, go for the cave and try to find something. Nothing happens, so I just start Boseijuing opponent, hitting their lands, but they probably have a bunch of those. So opponent finally finds a Tainted Indulgence, but they still don't have Reanimate target. To be honest, I wasn't even sure if they were playing Reanimate targets at this point. I was just so confused by opponent's deck. It is usually like competitive, a very competitive deck. The Esper or 5 color piles like this one, playing Goryo's or just Archon Reanimate. But opponent did a bunch of useless stuff and just didn't ever get their stuff going. So I don't know, maybe they were playing something weird, or maybe they just had very bad luck. Okay, so that's it. Very easy win in game 1, in match 1. Let's check out match 2. Okay, so this is actually pretty nice hand. Also, Ragavan from the top is cool. If they don't have Grazer, I can immediately start turn 2 with Inti, cycle caves, exile the card with Inti. Try to dig for cards I really need. That one of Molten Collapse would be pretty sweet. Boseiju too. Boseiju would be pretty cool in this situation. Okay, so I just go for Inti and I can cycle cave, try to dig for something. Opponent has Urza Saga, has double Mycosynth Gardens. And yeah, so now I need to find something. I don't have a bolt or any removal, so I just attack with Inti, do the ability. Unfortunately, only to exile another Ragavan, which is useless for me at the moment. So I go for the ring, resolve the ring, and yeah, that is not this is not great, but it gives me hope that I can do maybe something. Okay, so opponent copies another amulet, gets a bunch of mana with bounce land, and they have enough to go for Titan. I have protection from the one ring, but it doesn't really matter since my opponent can do a bunch of broken stuff this turn, go for Valakut, get haste, go for the Valakut, find another Valakut, and then just completely destroy me next turn. So even with the protection from the ring, it's not nearly enough. They kill my board, and yeah, so I get to untap, but I can't do much in a situation like this. So that is game 1. Let's check out the game 2. Okay, so let's check out the sideboarding plan for the Amulet Titan. Ditching the Ragavans, which are easily blocked by Grazers, trimming on bolts too. Bolts don't really kill a Dryad or Titan, so they're not very good. Bowmasters are only good against the One Ring, and they are bad against every other possible play they can have. So removing all of that, and I have some useful cards on the sideboard. I have a third Boseiju, I have the Blood Moon, of course, and I was exactly able to jam the Blood Moon here, and I also had Forest in play, and I had a double treasure to cast the Sheoldred, and opponent doesn't have basics, and yeah, that ends up being enough to win this one. So let's check out the game 3. Okay, same plan in game 3. Trimming one life from the Loam. The hand in game 3 wasn't really exciting. I decided to like just keep it. Tried. I had a Forgotten Cave. If I can mill like a Boseiju, I could be in a decent position. Opponent has plays Amulet. They mulliganed, and here is a second cave. So 2 caves make my life from the Loams much more impactful. So I definitely have some options. Opponent here helped me by not doing anything crazy in first 3 turns. They were probably like mana screwed. Okay, here I exiled the Molten Collapse. This was a great opportunity to fetch and kill both Amulet of Vigor and their Grazer as blocker. So that was a pretty nice collapse. I boarded the second one. From the side, Molten Collapse destroying both Dryad and Titan, also Amulet, really good card in this matchup. One in main, one on the side, really helpful. Okay, so now I'm attacking with Inti. Opponent is really mana screwed, and with double bolt in my hand, this is basically the kill next turn. Opponent finally finds their land, but yeah, it doesn't mean anything at this point, so that's it. Okay, so that is match 2. Let's check out match 3. We will actually skip the match 3, go to match 4, and because we will watch this defeat in the end. It was pretty I can say like a stupid defeat. I was about to win that game, but I had the win, but I miscounted the damage and I foolishly missed the lethal. Okay, so in the match 3, opponent was playing a scam, and yeah, I had a pretty good hand here, like Ragavan and Wrenn in hand. Opponent plays double Totsis into Ragavan. I have multiple ways to kill this Ragavan, make it like really useless. So here I didn't want to use the Sokenzan, and I rather just used the Life from the Loam and get the fetch. Opponent has to take the bolt here, which is good for me because they discard a Seismic Assault, but I get to keep one in hand. And now opponent is on 0 cards, and this is like really bad position for my opponent. There's just no way for them to do anything here, and I'm able just to jam the Seismic Assault. Next turn I play double Life from the Loam with Seismic Assault on the field. That is impossible to win for my opponent. I can basically just dredge this one, hope to get another land in graveyard, and then get 6 lands back from the graveyard. That is like close to lethal, almost lethal, like missing 1 damage. So that is the match. Opponent concedes, and let's check out game 2. Okay, so let's see also the sideboarding plan for the scam. Obviously I brought in the Leyline of the Void, had it here, it was pretty good. Leyline of the Void was better in the era when the Fury was legal, but it's good still. They play 5 of the Undying effects and still can do grief, still can grief you on turn 1. Okay, so I would say again a decent hand, starting with Leyline of the Void. I have Inti, I have removal, I have 2 Seismic Assault, so even if they have a Totsis, I will probably be able to jam it. Okay, here Inti doesn't get to attack, but I get to play a land, resolve the Seismic Assault, and this is very important part of this match. Resolving the Seismic Assault, I think you already like win half of this match. This means every Wrenn and Six I draw, every Life from the Loam is just a huge value for me. I also have the One Ring in my hand, and as you can see my sideboarding plan here, trimming on Ragavan as against all the Bowmasters deck, trimming 1 Sheoldred. I think 2 is enough for this matchup. Other than that, trimming just 1 Life from the Loam, and that's basically it. So nothing crazy, just a few changes. Most importantly, Leyline's in, and that is it. Okay, so that is win 3, match number 3. Let's check out the match 4. Okay, so in match 4, my opponent, I think he was playing the Jeskai, Ephemerate Control. I think Aspiring Spike played this recently. Okay, so I think this was like a very interesting matchup. Two really fun decks to play. Two, let's say, old modern strategies. Cards that were popular before that are not really popular at the moment. Okay, so I decided to jam. I know when I saw the Wall of Omens, I had the idea what is my opponent playing. I know they're probably playing counterspell, so I decided to jam the Orcish Bowmasters immediately. Then on when they block, I bolt to finish the wall and go for the Life from the Loam. So now I have a Loam in graveyard, a Seismic Assault in hand, and this is like really good position to be in. Okay, I decide to just disable Teferi from using the bounce ability here. and didn't want to finish him off. That was good decision because my opponent also played another one. And yeah, so here my opponent bounces the Seismic Assault, but they need a counter spell to get rid of it. Even if they do, I still have Ragavan Dash and Sokenzan. Sokenzan, it could be definitely very hard for them to deal with, especially if I draw into Wrenn or legendary creatures like Ragavan Inti. So when I play Ragavan and Inti, Sokenzan only costs 2 mana, which is like really good. Okay, so I decide not to do anything here. I can cycle the Sokenzan, discard the Sokenzan for 2 mana on opponent's turn, get 2 tokens and trigger the Inti. In response, opponent goes for the Tidebinder. That's perfectly fine. They counter this ability from Inti. That's 1 card, but I have life and the Seismic Assault here, which is huge. And I decide to go for the Tidebinder. I kill the Tidebinder, then not rush with the Seismic Assault. I don't want to play it into the counterspell. I also didn't want to play the Seismic into counterspell, and I didn't want to attack with Inti if they have like another Tidebinder. And this was a good decision. Opponent had a counterspell, and luckily I played it before. Luckily I attacked before playing anything, so I was able to try to play the Assault from the exile, and I had another one in my hand, which means if opponent doesn't have another counterspell, it is basically game over, and they don't, so I get to get 3 more lands in my hand with Life from the Loam and deal 12 damage to them. So that is game over, opponent knows it and they concede. Okay, so let's check out the game 2. Okay, had to mulligan this one lander, and I keep a decent 6. It's not that easy for them to deal with Ragavan. So Ragavan is a pretty good threat against them. Of course they have Wall of Omens, but I have removals. So I think Ragavan is really good in this matchup. Okay, so I decide this time not to do anything, just wait end of their turn. If they want to counter, let them counter. Opponent uses the counter spell, and yeah, now I'm going for the Ragavan Dash here. I get their One Ring. I wasn't able to play it, but just stealing the One Ring from them was important. Opponent has Wall of Omens. That is fine. This means my Ragavan is not that great anymore, but I now have the One Ring available to me to play. So while my opponent is tapped only 1 mana, I decide to go for the ring. Unfortunately, my opponent has the Spell Pierce, so that doesn't go through. And yeah, now I'm in a bit of problem. I don't have much in my hand right now. Just a Sheoldred, and opponent is on 4 or 5 cards actually. So they also play the One Ring. I do have the Sheoldred right now, so it is a good card to have when opponent plays the One Ring, but they play many removal, and yeah, they find one, so basically now it's very hard for me to get back into the game. I have Bolt, and I find the Bowmasters to put them on 9. On upkeep they go on 7, but it's still not good enough for the win. Opponent starts gaining some life, and I really needed some extremely powerful top decks to stay in this game, and that was it. So win for the opponent, Maybe I should have played that Bowmasters turn earlier, but I don't think it would have mattered. So okay, so here on turn 3, on game 3, sorry, I have a hand, a type of hand I really like to have when playing this deck. So turn 2, Life from the Loam, into turn 3, Seismic Assault, often feels like a very powerful play. I draw into another Life from the Loam, so this means I can go for the Seismic Assault here. If my opponent don't remove the Seismic Assault, I can go, I can dredge this Life from the Loam from the graveyard and play double Life from the Loam this turn. This is like very close to lethal. Okay, so here I go for the Forest, go for the first Loam. This is 6 damage to face. Classic Seismic Assault, Life from the Loam hand, and this is why I like having multiple copies of Life from the Loam in my deck. So they're very useful, obviously, in Seismic Assault deck. Okay, opponent just goes for draw 2 here, and there on 13 I have 6 lands in my hand, which is 12 damage. So by dredging Life from the Loam, on my draw step I have more than enough damage to finish this game, and yeah, so I don't even need it. And yeah, opponent concedes. That is the win in match number 4, and now it's time to check out this defeat, the only defeat in this league. This league, I think the first 2 matches of this league were like very easy, like 3 wins. That happens sometimes, and that happens for a lot of people. It's perfectly fine and fair. But yeah, the other games were like really real games that needed me to have very powerful hands to be able to beat those decks. And here I was playing against Yawgmoth, one of the best decks in format right now. In game 1, opponent basically played out their entire hand, and it wasn't it wasn't really a big deal. I didn't have any troubles dealing with what they played. I played Kill Their Grist, played Ragavan, play the land, trade with their undying creature. Right now I was on 7, but I had 1 ring, I had the Sheoldred. Opponent is on 0 cards in their hand, so they need to top deck very good to be able to get into this game, to get back into this game. Okay, so here I go for the Sheoldred, draw with the ring, gain 4, and now I also have Forgotten Caves, which I can cycle to draw, and this puts me in a really strong position. It's very hard for opponent playing Yawgmoth to play around Sheoldred. I also have the Bowmasters if necessary. Okay, so here I go, shock in, play the Bowmasters. Hits their Geist. Okay, so hitting the Molten Collapse, hitting the Seismic Assault, and the Seismic Assault is in most cases when you're playing like this, it's a card you're looking for. I think it's a very powerful card in this deck when you're doing the ring stuff and doing Life from the Loaming, Wrenn and Six. It's a really powerful card in this deck, and often when you're doing when you have the ring on the field, you're looking to put Seismic Assault on the field and finish your opponent before the life loss from the 1 ring becomes relevant. Okay, so opponent, when I had the life plus Seismic Assault, opponent concedes. They can't do much from this position. I have Sheoldred on the field and the Seismic Assault, which means I can kill the Yawgmoth, I can stop them from comboing or whatever. So that is it, that is the game. Okay. That was a game 1. Easy win in game 1, and let's check out the game 2. Both of these games were very close. Let's check out my sideboarding plan against Yawgmoth. So this is the matchup where I board all my Ragavans out, especially on the draw. It's very hard for Ragavan to be impactful on the draw. They have Young Wolves, they have the Bowmasters, they have the Wolves. Ragavan is just very bad here. Okay, so all Ragavans go out and trim just one left from the loam. Basically that's it. For the sideboard, add some Leylines, removal, and that's it. Okay, so turn 0 Leyline, I play my Inti. A pretty decent hand actually, but my opponent's hand is also sweet. They have like a turn 3 Yawgmoth here, drawing 2 cards, killing my Inti. That is fine for me. I have removal for Yawgmoth. But my opponent plays a Sheoldred here. It's kind of awkward position for me since I don't have removal for Sheoldred and I have the ring. So the Sheoldred still does damage to me, although I have the ring protection. Yeah, so I need to get to kill this Sheoldred somehow if I want to win in this game. Opponent also plays the Bowmasters, so I prioritized killing the Bowmasters first, so they don't do the Bowmaster damage also. Okay, so I'm on 7 at the moment, and I find the Seismic Assault. So I'm really close to surviving, but I am taking 2 damage from the One Ring. I'm taking 2 damage from the Sheoldred. That is already 3. And yeah, here opponent goes for attack with everything, which gets them additional 2 damage. That puts me in a harder situation since I also had to fetch here, so I can play the Seismic Assault. And basically I was missing a red mana here. I was missing not a red mana, I was missing mana, any mana, so I can kill Sheoldred plus play the One Ring. And yeah, so I was able to finally kill Sheoldred. But damage from the... I couldn't prevent the damage from the One Ring. And yeah, maybe I could play this better, leave the Molten Collapse in hand, try to kill Yawgmoth the other way. But it felt like really important in that situation to kill Yawgmoth. And unfortunately for me, opponent had Sheoldred immediately next turn. It felt like I think all the Seismic Assault decks feel a bit favorable against Yawgmoth, but this time opponent got me. Okay, so going to the game 3, now I'm playing first. This is much easier game for me, but I have to be careful with the ring against their Bowmasters and Sheoldreds whatsoever. So here I have the Bolt and the Collapse and the One Ring. I think this is fine hand. Also have the Boseiju for their Agatha if needed. I think this is a fine hand. 2 removals and then go for the ring. So I have ways to get rid of their Bowmasters and Sheoldreds and then resolve the One Ring. This is pretty decent game plan for me. Okay, opponent plays Agatha. I immediately destroy Boseiju the Agatha. It interferes with my game plan. Okay, so I cycle the cave and play my land, hold the lightning bolt for their turn. Okay, so opponent goes for the Grist. Molten Collapse can kill the Grist. It's pretty good card for this matchup, but obviously I really want to just resolve the One Ring in this position, and now I have the One Ring resolved and I draw into Seismic Assault. This is like very sweet. Maybe it was bad call to Maybe it was a bad decision to board out. I think I boarded out 1 life from the Loam. Maybe I should have left all 3. I really needed my life from the Loam now. Maybe that was a costly mistake in this matchup. The one that led me to miss the trophy here. Yeah, so I think definitely life from the Loam would be really good card right now. And yeah, also I had option here to try to kill one of the tokens in response to Yawgmoth to make them draw less cards, be able to draw less cards with Yawgmoth, but that didn't feel really impactful. And yeah, finally resolving the Seismic Assault here. I'm able to, yeah, I did a terrible misplay here. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I think I thought I had another red mana for Bolt or whatever, but basically I missed the damage here to kill the Yawgmoth, and it was like it was supposed to be very easy match for me, and I did a series of mistakes, very sad bad mistakes. And I also I had like, even after this mistake I was able to recover, but yeah, it was so bad. And then opponent had enough damage to attack and finish me with the Bowmaster. So that was it, but I would say a pretty sad loss, and my only loss in this league. It was just a brain fart, and I missed a damage there to kill the Yawgmoth. And yeah, so that's magic. Sometimes mistakes like this happen, and yeah, unfortunately a loss here. I had Sheoldred and 1 ring. This would gain me like 8 life. Completely stabilize me. I had removal for the Bowmaster, so none of this is really a problem. I get to play the Sheoldred, gain 8, kill the Bowmaster. Yawgmoth should already be dead, and sure, they had Agatha Cauldron, but I would probably be able to deal with it if I didn't take those crucial 3 damage there. And yeah, unfortunately I lose this one, and missed what could have been easy trophy with the JUND version of this deck, which I believe is very cool and fun to play. Also kind of hard to play, but definitely fun, and has very impactful good sideboard cards available, and can fight basically anything. And as I already said, in my opinion, I think the Assault Loam variant is actually stronger than any good stuff version you can come up with, at least at this moment. And I really like this build. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe. I want to hear your impressions in comparison for this list versus the last one, the Temur one. Which one do you prefer? I would like to hear what people think about that. And that's it for today. Again, thank you for watching, and goodbye.